upon a time I was a reptile, and somewhere I still am. I tend to act so civilized just because I can. But what about the secret that you whispered to me?
Hey, I'm Ben Lee. I just did some record shopping at Amoeba for What's in My Bags. I got this Karen Dalton record that I don't know anything about, except that I loved that one record that, I guess it was In My Own Time. It was so heartbreaking. And I still don't really know much about her life or anything, but that record, like, affected me so deeply. It was one of those, you know, get into your 30s and like have a mortgage and have babies and that kind of stuff where it feels like you have real problems. But when you're in your 20s, there's a certain specific type of heartbreak that only, you know, only a singer like Karen Dalton can really sum up. So I don't know, like she's moved me so much, and so I'm just really curious. I guess this is some other stuff that they've dug up of hers, so I'm just really excited to hear it. I got this record by the Entrance Band, who are an awesome, seminal LA psychedelic band. And I just finished this new album I'm making. It's called Ayahuasca, Welcome to the Work. And it's, I don't know if I'd call it psychedelic, but it's definitely influenced by looking at music in a more impressionistic way. So there's this one song I have on my new record, Song for Samael, and I knew there was no way my fingers were going to be capable of the guitar part that I was hearing in my head. So I'd met Guy's girlfriend, Amanda, and I just Facebooked him. I was like, dude, any chance you want to come over and play guitar on my record? And he was like, sure. So it turned out amazingly, and it was just an honor to get to record with someone that's so creative and has such a unique style. So I've never heard this record, so I'm excited to check it out. I bought this record called Pre-Revolutionary Iranian Pop because I feel very unschooled in pre-revolutionary Iranian pop. I feel most of my knowledge comes from post-revolutionary Iranian pop. No, to be honest, I have no idea what this is going to sound like, but it's really weird. Like when I used to see people like, you know, in their teens and 20s be like just super into following indie rock. And then it seemed like really annoying when everyone got into world music, and like it was like they were needing to be deliberately contrary or interesting. But I really have found, like, especially traveling a lot and touring and going different places and becoming more compassionate and open to like just the ways we're connected around the world, like listening to music with a more open mind from different cultures has actually been like, it's just like been a nauseatingly familiar important experience for me. So I do find myself more and more drawn to kind of having my mind blown by something that I have no context for, and something that it's not like with most like rock music or singer-songwriters or indie music, I feel like I've got such a thorough sense of the lineage that the music's coming through that it almost clouds the way you listen to it, because you're listening to it with so much baggage and so much context. And so to grab something that comes from a totally different world, you almost get to have this like a very visceral, pure kind of, you know, sensual reaction to it. So, yeah. So I'll keep you posted on how the Iranian pop pre-revolution, you know, stacks up. This is a record of Tibetan Buddhist chants and orchestras, and for me, spirituality and music seems so interconnected. Like, I'm always so surprised when musicians describe themselves as not spiritual, because it seems like the very act of playing music is spiritual, and that music, you know, it works on vibration, and it's about having values that are based on something more than just the material world and what you can do with it. So for me, I've always been interested in spirituality and spiritual music and chants. You know, I really believe that chants do affect the chemistry of the body just the way, you know, your favorite record does. Like it can change your mood. We've all had that experience of like turning to an album for solace when we're going through something difficult or to feel connection. And I think if you look at the way chants developed over thousands of years, they were like a very refined science, where these people who all they would do was meditate and kind of listen and tap into the sounds of nature. So the creative experience and the spiritual experience, they're so similar. You know, they're kind of one and the same. So I'm always like, I always love listening to different kinds of chants from different spiritual and religious practices, and yeah, just trying to get a sense of, you know, what aspect of the science of consciousness they're tapping into. This is the new Girls record, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. And I'm a little behind on this one. I love Girls and I love the last record. It was so refreshing when it came out, and it felt like it came from that really open, romantic 60s sensibility where there was like, they were pop songs, but there was no cynicism within them, and they weren't pop songs because you have to create songs in a certain structure to get on the radio. It was like this pure love of pop music, the way children have, you know, when they're listening to the radio, you know, in their parents' car. So I'm a big fan of Girls, and I'm really excited. And I mean, look at that cover. This says to me, I am going to get very deeply involved in this album in a very personal, idiosyncratic manner. These last few records, I just brought out of curiosity. This is music of Thailand. The Folkways stuff is always incredible. And yeah, I'm just curious. I really don't know much about Thai music. This is Ananda Shankar, who's a sitar player, and I've spent a lot of time in India. I used to go a few times a year, and the music affected me really deeply, and still does. This one I just love the title of, The Secret Museum of Mankind. The thing that makes me believe in music so much is that it's essentially this very secret, esoteric relationship that we have to it. Where an audience comes to your show, even if there's like 20 people there, that's a private, secret experience that's never going to be turned into like a number that will affect the, you know, GDP. And so this idea of like the secret museum of mankind, just like, you know, I resonated with that, and I'm excited to hear this record. Is that cool? Is that enough? Okay, cool, yeah, nice to meet you. See you later, thank you.
Build a nest for an Indian miner in a box with some holes to breathe. On a doorstep on my apartment, if you kept me out